they're never in real time. There's no conversation of stability with them. There's no stability and no conversation. So when I realized, and too, Shannon, I love the other comment I have to say when you talked about use the example. I love the examples used with Trayvon when the narcissist in the situation say, "Oh yeah, Trayvon's wallet was missing." Say, "Oh no," that scenario. That's how they are. They always try to make it seem like you are the problem when they are the problem, and they are also their own problem.
Yeah. Right.
And when just a friendly disclaimer, we're not a medical advice. We do not subscribe to medical advice. We are sharing information to enhance your life, to enhance your mental health. And again, this is just a friendly disclaimer. Anything concerning our videos is not intended for a medical professional. It does not replace any medical professional advice. Please seek your medical professional team for anything concerning your mental health, physical health. Again, we are here for you.
Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whoever you are, wherever you are. Welcome to the Pit Stop with yours truly, the Grand Queen, founder and host of this is Trayvon with his baby. We are just supporting again, founder and host of the Just Stop It Show. Well, we are here tonight on Mental Health Check-In, the Pit Stop. Again, this is Trayvon Wiz, our very own media producer. This is his baby. Hey, Trey.
Everybody, how y'all doing?
Hey, everything is good. Everything is good. And we've got
Everything
that
is
tree.
all right.
He is the apple that doesn't fall far from the tree, Shannon.
Hello. Hey, how
the
are
host of the
y'all?
show. Hey, Shannon.
Hey, how
Hey,
you doing?
hey, mommy.
All right.
Hi.
How's y'all day been?
Crazy.
Crazy.
Always.
I couldn't have said it
Always.
better. Crazy as ever
Crazy.
in New York, too. I'm telling you, it's wild.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, it ain't been the best day in the world, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Traveling, we've been talking about, tech tangles. Well, we've been talking about tech hiccups, and now we're on the back to school tip. So those of you tonight who are passing through and you've got family members going back to school, no matter from birth to college and more certificate programs, whatever that is, listen, we got to make it. We can't fake it till we make it. We got to make it. So yeah, we got some tech tangles in New York. We talked about it on last week, right? On some of the things that parents have to contend with in back to school woes and back to school stress. And, some of it is quite bizarre.
Yes.
And it's still attached to technology, but it's like in so many different forms. So today, just like y'all said, it's been a wild day. Here in New York, LaGuardia Airport and Kennedy Airport was tangled up. They canceled like hundreds of flights just like that. So clearly, you can't even imagine people, parents and kids and different ones coming back from vacation or maybe going on vacation, trying to cope. And all of a sudden, boom, the flight is canceled. So yeah, that's some of the tech stress that's happening here, even traveling and things like that, the storm, stuff like that. But parents, don't worry, you're going to have to cope. and learn how to navigate. What can we say? We are here for you, and we hope that we can help you to navigate. What y'all say about traveling out there, JTI team?
The travel out here.
How are things?
Okay.
How are parents? How are people coping with travel time and the glitches? Just like it's happening, like boom, all of a sudden, like out of the blue, which I think
Well,
sometimes is
I
deliberate.
haven't seen to, I haven't heard of anything significant happening out here in the DMV. But I
Okay.
mean, as far as travel and stuff is concerned, that's always a challenge, especially on the road. Right here, we have the area
Hmm.
called the Mixing Bowl, where we're
Okay.
DC,
What's that?
Maryland, Virginia, and they hello.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Um, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and all of that is interlocked. Um, I've
Oh,
mentioned to you before that um, you can be in one whole county on one side of the street and cross the short distance on the other side. You're in a whole
Yeah.
different county.
Yeah.
exactly.
So you have people
Oh,
that don't
wow, wow.
live. You have people that don't live where they work. So I mean, it's easy
Mm-hmm.
to live in Virginia, but you work in DC, vice versa, or you live in some
Wow.
Yeah.
part of Maryland. So I just the congestion of high traffic areas like that. I think that's where a lot of stress come in. I really don't think it's really a technology issue. It's an issue of putting too many things in one spot.
Yeah,
That's how I
and
see it.
having
Congestion. Yeah.
and the jurisdiction of it. Who's handling it? Who's managing that? Whose jurisdiction is it under? Just like you said, all of that's zoned. That's bananas. Wow. Wow. That's a lot going on. Yeah. So like here we are, trying to get to it, get with it, get through it. Oh, before we move forward, it's a friendly disclaimer, a friendly reminder. The information in our videos are not intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content, including graphics, images, and information contained in our videos, is for general information purposes only and cannot and will not ever replace your own doctor or health professional advice. Please seek medical professional advice, psychiatric advice, whatever advice you need to make your life complete, to make your life better. Please seek that advice. We are here for you. We are here to add on and to enhance your life with your medical professionals. And hopefully they're the right ones. And if they're not, find out who they are. Never believe the okie doke. Find out what matches up to your life. Find out what complements your life and the medical professionals. We love you like no other as God does. So here we are. Here we are, family.
Indeed. Indeed. How was y'all's week?
These interesting, weirdly interesting.
Why you say that?
But I have to say thank goodness, because if it wasn't a little weird, then I guess it would be boring, wouldn't it? It
Yeah.
would be
Yeah, I
super
see that.
boring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, I have to say, because the storm that we had, for some reason, I don't know. Oh, this part I could back as the storm because that's like on a regular, in summertime. But this came down the pipe this week. There's an uptick of COVID cases in New York.
Mm.
Now it depends on the stats per borough, per per borough and per zip code. Hey, big sister Margaret, thank you for stopping by. Our biggest fan. Yes. And those who are watching, thank you for stopping by. Don't hesitate to
Professor,
chime in about
it seems
the
like
new.
your microphone is I don't know if that's my reception or not, but it seems like your sound and stuff is kind of glitchy. I don't know if
Okay,
that my mom hears the same thing that I'm
about that
hearing.
now. Is it still is
It
it still
sounds
bad?
yeah, it sounds kind of
It
choppy.
sounds
Yeah,
kind
like
of
it just started.
choppy. Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, I hear that all of us just started sounding choppy. Do I still sound that way?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. You might want to close out and just come back
I'm
in.
hearing that from all of us. I'm hearing that from all of us as well. Let me
Yeah, I'm hearing it from
see.
you, but I'm not hearing it
I'm
from
he-
on Trayvon's
yeah, I'm
end.
hearing it. Yeah, I'm not hearing. I'm hearing it from you, but I'm not hearing it from my mom. So,
Uh huh.
but what were
Yeah.
you were saying something about your week being a little rough, mommy? Because I was asking about
Oh
y'all
my
week, so we
gosh.
wanted to do the
I
check-in part
mean,
really.
oh Lord, we had the air conditioning issue at the
Mhm.
wrong time of the
In the
season.
wrong time, wrong weather.
Um,
Yeah,
yes, we finally got that resolved yesterday.
I'm glad you did.
Um, I'm so glad we did. I actually emailed the office and thanked them. I mean, it took long enough, but just to get the issue resolved. They gave us portable, but when I went upstairs to the upper level, woo,
Yeah, where the
I
heat
just
rises
knew
at.
that
Yeah.
with the heat rises that I don't even know how Livy and them were able to get through that. I slept close to where the portable unit is. I need to be cool because of asthma.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, you know, that's a no go.
Yeah.
But just small things like that. And I swear, they're doing a lot of construction out here. That's just annoying. I think the older I get, the less noise I can tolerate.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
You know,
Silence is really starting to be a thing the older you
but
get.
I was sitting outside. They've been redoing all the patios in the complex on my end,
Okay. Mhm.
and what do you got to do? What do you have to do to get old concrete up? You have to use a jackhammer.
Mhm.
So when I went outside, I didn't realize that the next door neighbors they were doing their patio. So I'm sitting there talking, and you know, I did a video.
Right now.
I was so irritated. Um,
You said you were so
but
irritated you did or something.
I did a Facebook Live
Mhm.
to let everybody hear what was going on. I just,
Mhm.
your sanctuary should be home.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like that
Should
with
be.
that jackhammer next to you going off. But other than that, those are just things that just can happen all the time. Um,
Yeah.
just little nuances that you kind of just like, But
Yeah, I feel you on
despite
that.
that, I'm okay. Um, I just, I'm transparent here. I just met
Of course, yeah.
the new therapist.
Mhm.
I had one. She was a little attached, I think, because we really got along, and
Yeah.
she had a opportunity somewhere else. So
Okay.
I said, just hand me off to somebody good, and
Yeah, like
I
anybody
met
you
that.
recommend that you think is good, yeah.
Oh yeah,
How was that?
yeah,
How
yeah.
was
So
that
that I
interaction?
met the lady the first time, and the most interesting is this is the first African American doctor
Mm.
that actually performed, a therapy role for me
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I've ever had. And and I always tell people with therapy, I've discovered over time you have to find a good fit.
Right.
Not saying that do you feel like they're listening to you? Are they targeting um certain issues? What is their strategy?
Right.
I can't stress that enough. And when I spoke to the last therapist, I had told her, I said, I had a therapist or two that it felt like they would rather be making a grocery list than listening to me. That I mean, it was
I've
kind of
been
like
through
a
that.
mm-hmm,
I've been
uh-huh,
through that.
uh-huh. What time you want to come back next week? Um,
And
you
I ain't
learn
get
a
to even
lot of
say
times that
nothing. I ain't getting nothing
uh
off my chest or nothing.
what I said, what are you thinking about what you're gonna have for dinner tonight? You know,
Yeah.
and I said, would think she laughed, about it. I guess maybe the way I say things sometimes and expressing myself.
I think it's the honesty. People like the
But
honesty.
it's singing "Ring Around the Rosie" in his head. What is he doing? Are you, I'm right
Cause you're
here.
not tuned in. I can tell that you're not tapped in. I've been through that. I've been through
Yeah.
that.
And a good thing when we talked, we just had a conversation too. Not just
Yeah.
really, but just anyway. In the last few minutes of the session, and she was like, she had to get therapy at one point in her life. She said it
Right.
actually made her a better therapist.
Exactly.
Yeah, made her a better therapist, and she was able to. She said she cares. I said, well, you have to care, but I do understand that you have to draw a fine line between professionalism and the
Hmm.
interaction you have between your client
Understood.
and performing a therapy session. So, you cannot get too engrossed because you won't be able to give proper therapy to that individual.
I feel that
Care,
though.
what I'm saying? It's harder for me to say. Maybe I'm not saying it correctly, but
You saying that
care,
right?
you know, but you can't you can't let it overwhelm you. So
Right.
don't perform a service like that and don't have emotion or empathy or sympathy or anything.
Exactly.
Um, yes, well, I see that the professor is Bach, Grand Queen.
Yeah.
I was just filling Trayvon in a little bit about therapy a little bit because I've switched a therapist and how much I like her and feel like I have a connection with her. This is the first African American woman therapist, but she's
Okay.
actually a doctor as well, that
Absolutely.
I have ever worked with, and I'm just hoping that um, I don't know her approach so far and being enthusiastic with some things with healing and moving forward. I just like her vibe.
Right.
But so that's my thing this week. I think
I feel that.
before the professor had left, she was saying something. Do you want to go back and reiterate on that?
Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us, Shannon, on your journey, because not too many people think much of it, but
Hmm.
it should be, you should always feel comfortable with any professional, because it is
Yes.
a spiritual journey, it's a psychological journey, it's a journey, and you want to make sure that those folks are sharing. Yeah. So you're good. You're really good.
Yeah.
Again, I'm glad that you feel comfortable with her. And some and the plus is a Black woman.
Yes.
That's a plus
Yeah. Finding
because
somebody to
Hmm.
not too
listen to.
many people. Yeah, melanated nation.
Yes.
We need that as far as
Hmm.
being able to identify and being able to possibly get through our mental health journey better. For some, maybe
Yeah.
it doesn't make a difference, and for some, it may very well make a huge difference. And because you talk about the impact and the outcome of healing, it may
Hmm.
make a big difference. So, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're very
And
welcome.
well, listen, that's you. That's our opulent one. And we love you like that,
Thank
because
you.
this is going to help somebody tonight. I've done that myself in when taking therapy, and therapy is really good. It depends again on who he or she is, because you do have
Hmm.
some therapists who are all about the numbers, they're all about
Hmm.
the stats. Hurry up and get in. I heard what you said too, Trey. Like you didn't even have a chance to share. You
Hmm.
understand with your
Oh
therapist,
yeah.
and that's not
Hmm.
good because you're supposed to have. It's supposed to be because all that's linked to this, not just space and time. It's linked to how you process. It's linked to how you're able to get through whatever it is, and everything, whatever and whoever you are equally as relevant and equally as important as any patient, as any consumer. And we should all be treated with equality. We should all be treated
Yeah.
equally.
I
But
mean,
some just don't get it.
it had
They
turned me
don't
off
get
so
it.
much, honestly, that I had totally went against. I said, you know what, I'm good because I'm wasting my time trying to have a
Wow.
conversation with you about what's on
Hmm.
my mind. And like my mom said, you tuned out. Like I said, did you think about a bill you got to pay later, or what you're going to get from the grocery store, or something like that? Your mind
Wow.
is totally
Yeah.
off. And I realized at the end of the day, professional or not, you're still human at the end of the day. And I had to
Yeah.
realize that
Exactly.
people in these positions, you know, might not be as in tune or that sharp that day, and I can feel that you don't care or whatever, whatever, But I learned to just talk to myself about it. Some people say
Ha!
some people say talk to the
Okay.
Hey,
universe or talk to
hey,
God or
you
whoever,
talk to yourself.
but
Okay.
I
There
learned to
ain't
talk to
nothing wrong
myself
with
about
that.
it.
Yeah.
As long as you ain't
But
Ain't
answering
nothing
back
wrong
and
with
having
that.
a full blown
Right.
conversation,
Third
you ain't
party.
they
answering
see
to
it,
my,
yeah,
you
If
it's
ain't
a
it's ain't
third
answering to
third party,
party.
yourself.
fourth party, fifth party,
But yeah,
then
but
it's an
Yeah.
issue. Yeah, then it would be a
yeah,
problem. It's
so I
It,
nothing
learned
wrong
to
with
it,
talk about
that.
it.
yeah.
It
I
depends
Yeah,
mean,
on the depth and length of where you want to go with it, because
hmm,
actually they're not there to. to tell people what to do. Some people think, oh, I need a therapist so it can tell me what to do. No, that's not what they're there
Mm-mm.
for. They're there to
Uh-huh.
help you to sort out stuff with your
Yes.
own questions and answers, to
Yeah.
tell you
Your
the
own way of
truth.
thinking. Uh-huh.
Right.
Mhm.
And then change your way of thinking, your mindset and things like that. They're there to help you to create a pathway for you that's comfortable enough, that will present the healing and whatever else you need. And just pretty
Mm-hmm.
much a reality check. That was my thing.
Yeah.
I needed a reality check. And it was good, bad, ugly, and nasty when
Mhm.
when things happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that it did. And from time to time, I still get psychotherapy. The thing is, sometimes they're not a good fit. So that's why I
Yes.
support you. We
Yes.
support you, Shannon, because we all need a good fit. It has to do with equality
Oh
and
yeah.
things. So yeah, government, they're a part of that. Government is a part of that, and this is why our upcoming show, the next segment, which I'm excited about, we are very excited about the next segment. We'll be talking about how legislature affects how the mental health, how legislature affects the aspect of how parents cope with back to school. What are
Yeah.
they
Can
doing
you
to
explain?
change some of well, yes, I don't mind. Let me just give you a quick little glimpse of what we're talking about, what we will be talking about in our upcoming show. Uh, we'll actually this has to do with giving parents a lifeline, a legislative lifeline, meaning lawmakers can help parents cope with back to school tech issues, because it's all a part of their hands, such as cell phones, FCC. All those things are a part of who makes those decisions with the kind of technology that we use, and the kind of technology that students use, and that we all use, and what's relative to the stress that parents experience, such as funding for mental health services, flexible work policies. All those things are linked to how parents cope. Um, there's a mix of expert insights and real life stories that I've heard from parents who said, listen, not to say that they can't afford the technology, but the thing is, they had an issue with privacy. They had privacy issues when it came to the technology that was attached to their child's education, or the technology was so antiquated they couldn't even bother with it, or there was certain boundaries that weren't there were certain things that weren't age appropriate, and things like that, with the between the school and the technology and the curriculum. So in other words, everything has to be in alignment with the child's age, development, and if not,
Was
then
it?
it's going to be a crapshoot for parents.
If I can ask a question, was it content of some sort that was passed around the school base, like the student body, or like
This had to do
was it
with
content that was passed around this?
lawmakers. For example, let me give you an example. The study I just did a study that said that schools, actually, this has to do with people of color, that they were trying to enroll students into the school. This had to do with racial quotas. If anybody ever heard, have you heard of racial quotas? Meaning schools have to, they operate based upon particular kinds of students, ethnicity and race, and they are funded based upon those ethnicities and race. So this school could not, they had more Asian students than they had black students. So the lawmakers changed the rule of the game, saying that they lowered the standards so that the black children could get more, and black children enrolled in the school, but the Asian children did no longer qualify for enrollment in that school because the standards were lowered. However, legislature did that, and this happens all the time, because this has to do with systemic racism and things like that. Why lower the standards when it should be, those standards should be equal enough so our black children, Latino children, can reach the bar? in those standards. Why lower it when why lower it or raise it so that only one class or two classes, two or three ethnicities engage instead of all ethnicities across the board. So
Well,
I said
well,
that to say this is a stress for many parents because it doesn't create equal opportunities for their children across cultures, across Black and Latino particularly. So that's a
my
part of the stress
question.
that they
My question would be, what is the connection with the students, the parents, and the technology? Is what I'm asking you.
the
The connection
connection
between the.
the connection is actually because it support the connection technology connects. Oh, I didn't hear you. I lost you on the last part.
Oh, I was asking about the connection of technology and like the students and the parents. That whole the subject that we're bringing up on Sunday is like about technology and the stress that it induces on students or parents' mental health. So I'm trying to make the connection now of how you're pretty much presenting the subject.
Well, the connection is how lawmakers connect technology to mental health support. How do they allocate funding? Where's the money that's connected to technology, which funds mental health services for parents who may be having mental health issues because of a lack of technology or lack of, again, the technology that they need. Because, for example, we were talking about psychotherapy. Psychotherapy is linked to the media. You no longer have to go to the in-house or in-office therapy sessions. The therapy sessions come to you via the media. So that's linked to funding for mental health services. So sometimes parents may not have the technology to be able to receive those services. They may not have the right support or mental health services to receive those types of services. So it is linked to their mental health and funding.
Okay.
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 And that's which is also linked to flexible work hours. It allows parents, once if they're getting mental health support, it allows them to be able to balance between work and family, things like that. Also, they would have educational services, resources available, such as parent advocates. I don't even know if they have parent advocates anymore, parent liaisons. I mean, because of funding. So if lawmakers do not make the funding available, which creates hiccups in their work schedule, which creates problems among mental health services, then there it is. There's the okey doke. They can't cope. So one thing is
So
linked to the other.
it's the access is what you're saying. So the lack of
Exactly.
technology and the access that the kids and parents have or families have.
Access, access and funding. Access and the money train. Where that
Okay.
money
So
that money train is.
access and funding to mental health services and technology. Like I'm just trying to clarify. So being able to, how does the technology and what part of technology kind of coincides with that, with them being able to
I'm
receive those services?
I'm
Um,
assuming the limited access, but that would be that wouldn't just be if I because I thought it was at first limited access in reference to like students and being able to do homework and stuff. Now a lot has
Uh-huh.
changed in a lot of places for more access to be out there as far as having more laptops and stuff available. I understand different states and different cities go through different things as far as uh, what type of funding is available in the area. But I thought it was more so towards like the student access because the parents, I would assume the parents have um, a cell phone of some sort, like a local
Uh-huh.
library. So I was just trying to understand.
Well, I guess
no,
I'm
not all
thinking,
parents have it. Mm-mm.
yeah, yeah, exactly what you're saying. Not
Mm-hmm.
all parents
Yeah.
have it. And,
Mm-hmm.
we're in such an economy right now where
Yeah.
some households don't have money for the
Exactly.
extras.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
have a Apple iPhone or anything like that.
Mm.
What I mean? They
Mm-hmm.
have a basic phone, or
Or
I don't want to
government
put it on
funded.
that there's certain things that households pretty much don't have.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So a big problem that I had saw when the laptops, they even had a commercial about it. The laptops for the children when they transitioned from having hardcover books to
Right.
to obtain information, which sometimes was outdated because you can that book. I know around here that book can recycle itself many times, and there's more.
Exactly.
It's not current.
Hmm.
That
So,
part.
but when you issue a child, let's just use this example. When you issue a child, you issue students this laptop, and you expect them to still be able to retrieve homework or communicate with their teachers or what capability they want them to perform. If you don't have that internet access, you don't have it. Now, people
Yeah.
say go to the library. The library does not give you an open access to be able to connect internet to your device. They have
Exactly.
internet, they have computers and internet there,
But
Right.
but you
but that's
can't
not.
log on. Yeah, I'm just going to say this real quick. You can't log in and actually bring that laptop to the library and use it. Well, not around here.
Oh,
Trust me,
oh
I've
okay.
tried.
Exactly.
Oh,
Accessible.
okay.
You would
Because
you would have
that
to
Mm-hmm.
was
go
okay.
to you would have to go to a Starbucks. You would have to go to a lot of those commercial places that offer what do you call it?
Free
Offer
Wi-Fi.
internet access, but
Mm-hmm.
that's where it's tricky too.
Yeah.
You don't want to drag your 5-year-old to do homework at a Starbucks. You should be able to be in your home if that's what they want you to do. I mean, that's just my
Maybe
opinion.
it's maybe it's just the county that I'm in.
Yeah.
Because I know when I needed it, at the time I was able to go to the library and get a Wi-Fi unit to take home, and check out like
Okay.
a book. So I had that for, and I actually had it until the demand went back up and people started needing it again. But that was something I was surprised by because I wasn't someone who visited the library because there's like
Hmm.
laptops and plenty
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
devices or whatever
Your
in
phone.
here,
Yeah,
so I don't
yeah.
need to, yeah, so I don't need
Right.
to really leave. But that was something that I found in my area. So the library that's up the street, they give Wi-Fi units, so you can check it out like a book, and you can connect it to whatever device. Now you shouldn't be looking on no special websites or nothing like that anyway. So you should be trying to search,
Okay.
because when you talked
Okay.
about when you mentioned security and what kids get into, and that's my point of bringing that up, is that
Right.
you don't,
Right.
yeah. So when it comes to all that stuff, they should, anything that's searchable that a child should be
Right.
searching, or someone
Right.
who needs someone else's Wi-Fi should be searching, is available.
Exactly.
So
Hmm.
Exactly.
I didn't know that every I know all libraries don't do all the same things, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying I only mentioned that because I thought that now in
Mm-hmm.
2024, they would at least have be onto something like that, because a lot of places do
Exactly.
give Wi-Fi and stuff now.
Yeah. They're doing
I
that
think.
in New York. They are doing that in New York. Now I don't know what the schools are doing per se per borough, but they are improving in aspect with aspects like that. And again, linking accessibility, linking it and making accessible to mental health services in schools and communities. Now you've got so many issues attached to that, which is again immigration, immigrants, because we have a every borough, actually New York City in particular, has a heavy influx of immigrants, and they need services. They need services across the board. So again, funding is linked to these technologies and things like that. And so that's some of the woes of some parents because of their situation, because of the culture, and more.
So So
So
if we can,
that
without
part.
me cutting in, if we can, I want to get down the key. But for those that are watching right now, maybe that I encourage you to tune into next Sunday to know what we're going to be, or to tune into what we're going to be talking about. But the bullets of it, like the key points of it, are, I heard you mention the security part of it. So whether it be the access, children getting into things they shouldn't be, or you know, how these computers and stuff are. So I'm saying the security access, I would think is one. You said the funding is another.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the key points
Yeah.
of what our discussion is going to be for Sunday. So, what
Yeah.
would you
And
say, or what would y'all think?
Microsoft too. Put Microsoft in there because they are the key players in managing and issuing that technology, monitoring, and
So
also
is,
I
is
have to
that
say
is
they're
that
the
the majority
conglomerate.
of like what the school servers and software is run on?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
number of linked partners, but Microsoft is like the head of, they're at the helm. So,
Okay.
for example, today, like I said earlier, LaGuardia and Kennedy Airport shut down for a while and canceled hundreds of flights because of Microsoft and their key partners. So it's not just Microsoft, it is the vendors who are linked to them. So, it's to help parents to cope with that kind of thing, because when things spin, even in the hospital, if you cannot gain internet access, then everything shuts down. They have to start writing,
Okay.
hospitals will have to start writing prescriptions by hand. They have to
Mhm.
start doing everything by hand. So technology
Okay.
is super
So
important.
Yeah.
okay. So the
Hmm.
security part of it, when it comes to who is spying on your kids' laptops or what funny business is going on. So security, is one.
Security, yeah.
The
Yeah.
funding is another. Microsoft is
Yeah.
going to be a third one. If we come up with some
Yeah.
more by then, at least we know what
Exactly.
key points we're
Yeah.
hitting up with the next show. That's what I wanted to get
Yeah.
straight and understand.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Educational
Okay,
Thank
not a
you.
problem.
resources.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You
Parent
know,
involvement.
and
Parents need to get
Yeah.
involved too. Hmm.
and if
Yes.
I can just add
Okay.
one more thing really quick, when I think of this, we talk about legislation. I guess legislation would cover city and states,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
a lot of things, to me, the pressure really needs to be on. This is my opinion. Needs to be on the city, the actual city or the actual county. Um, and I mainly speak of, from experience of being around in my area. So let's just make that real
Yes.
clear. I don't know what other
Yes.
areas do, but I know what I have witnessed here. Um,
Yes.
that
Okay.
is certain things are not accessible. But let me go back. I'm sorry. Um, just remember when the city and the state puts out the claim that they don't have money, they have money.
Hmm.
Okay, for a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
But
Yes,
we have
indeed.
to do what's necessary, to make sure we say, hey, look, I live in this city, I pay taxes here collectively, and not more than one person.
Hmm.
You got to attend
Absolutely.
Hmm.
whatever meeting needs to be attended. You gotta you
Yeah.
gotta
Go to
pick
those
out what you
community
need to go to talk
meetings.
about. You go to those community
Absolutely.
meetings and say, hey,
Yeah.
this is what we need, right? Our
Hmm.
congressmen or our
Yeah.
our aldermen and all that stuff. So so
Yes.
so I'm just saying, overall, I'm just saying, excuse me, that tackle really put the pressure on your city, your
Hmm.
particular
To
city,
narrow it down, not the whole
to
state,
narrow
but your
to,
particular city, and get it going
yeah,
in your
your
city.
particular city.
Exactly.
And I'll say it again. I don't mean to repeat myself. Trust me. That
Hmm.
thing about city and federal, city, state, federal, saying they don't have the money for certain things and programs. There's money.
They
They
have it.
just don't. They just want to move the budget, or they call it the budget lines. So so
Hmm.
so every fiscal year, those entities get a certain amount of money for a program or a service.
Yeah.
Now, I tell you this because I used to work in procurement for the federal government. Every
Understood.
fiscal year, you get it. So
Hmm.
when the fiscal
Hmm.
year leaves or ends, that money is the slate is wiped clean.
Yeah.
So you could have
Yeah.
had $30,000 or $50,000 or more sitting somewhere unused,
Hmm.
but you wouldn't. The general public won't know this. You got money sitting
Absolutely.
unused that sit there all year long or during the fiscal year period, and then it gets wiped out completely. 30. So let's just say 100,000. 100,000 gone.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
you got to understand. You got to understand the lingo and understand how they do things. I don't
Exactly.
know
Yeah.
everything, but I do know enough, and I've seen it. You know what I
That
mean? I've
part.
actually
That
have
part.
seen it, federal government
Hmm.
wise, and have
Yes.
been in procurement and have procurement. You procure services, goods, products, all that stuff for the government, for that agency, right? Just hear me out. And the fiscal year ending and having to what was referred to in the office as burned money. So
Mm.
they would come to me and say, "Do you want to burn some money?" Which was kind of
Wow.
a little slang term. Say, "Do you want to spend some money?"
All right.
And at
Yeah.
a certain
Mhm.
point, people were almost buying anything not to lose
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they can, and I've had money move from one budget line to another for something that we needed or
Mhm.
wanted. You know, this is not something that the average citizen would know.
Yeah.
But you get a hold of the information and say, "Hey, I know you got $30,000 sitting there. We need
Right.
something."
Absolutely.
Right.
You know,
That's how
it's not going to go
nonprofits get
to
their money.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's not
More
going to
That's a
go
part
banding
of it.
together.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not going to go to
exactly.
your promotion.
Exactly.
You know, so say, look, and when that fiscal year comes in, knowing when it comes in and when it leaves is very essential.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very
Very true.
essential.
Very true.
And
More banding
and when
together.
it
More conversations on banding
yeah,
together to
Absolutely.
get things done.
and when it
That's
comes
very
in,
good too.
prior to it
Thank you
coming
for those
in,
lifelines. Yeah, those are lifelines.
prior to it hitting that account, the community or the people that this money is for need to speak up and say, "We
Yeah,
need
in
this,
New
this,
York.
this,
Yeah.
and this."
Absolutely. We're gonna hit that up again on our
Yeah.
show because I had something else to share about how that happens in New York. True
Mhm.
Lifeline. Thank you, Opulent One. That is a lifeline
Welcome.
for us to take through the week, and more parents, please catch this. For those of you who didn't catch it, catch it. Catch it on our on YouTube, please. This is really among some of the things that you're going to experience, and this is more than a need to know. You will be able to function and cope. True Lifeline. Again, thank you, Opulent One. All right, Trey, you want to take us out? Hit us
Yeah.
up for
Not a
next
problem.
week and move it
Yeah. Not a
forward.
problem. Yeah, not a problem. Okay. As y'all know, I got to hit y'all in the beginning and the end with the disclaimer. So, just to cover ourselves, because like I say all the time, we don't want you to be led astray. We don't want you to take any advice or anything we say and be put in or walk in a direction or be sent in a direction that doesn't serve you. So, as a friendly disclaimer, everybody, the information in this video is not intended nor applied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content is to be considered as such. It's just advice. We are mental health advocates that are here for you. To help us do better by tuning in to our next Sunday show, which will be not this Sunday coming up, but the following Sunday, because we're doing every other Sunday now for our schedule. You can always catch us in our check-ins, tell us how you're doing, check in with us, hear how we're doing here, what we got going on, what stresses we have for the week, just as well as us hearing you. So be sure to tune in to our Sunday, the Sunday after next show, which is 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. That is carried under the name Just Stop It, which is the name of the movement in its entirety. And we also have the pit stop on Wednesdays from 7:30 to 8 p.m., um, which is dubbed as a mental health check-in, time for you to stop in just to unwind after work or after a long day or whatever's going on, just to hear somebody else and be heard, to comment and kind of get a little pick me up to get through the week. So yeah, definitely encourage you guys to stop by and tune in. But yeah, that is our JCI friendly disclaimer, everybody.
Absolutely. Way to go. Yes, family. Have a good week. Be safe. And listen, COVID is still out there. Mask up, social distance, and live clean. I'm just saying.
Yes.
We love you like no other, as God does, who wants us to be clean. All right, family, smooches.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all.
Bye.
In a while.
Bye. All right, in a while. All right, Mama, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. Like I said before, make sure that you tune in to our next Sunday show, which will be not this Sunday coming up, but the following Sunday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Also, you can catch us on YouTube, JTI Reform 1. So it's JTI REFORM number 1 on YouTube, labeled Just Us. But you can find all of our previous streams on our live tab, and we got a lot for you to tune into and check into. What I ask for is if you are watching and you're staying consistent, just let us know that you're there. Don't be afraid to say hello. Don't be afraid to, tune in on the conversation. I would love to hear from more people that watch our platform. You know, I encourage people to be able to sit there and just listen. You don't have to talk. You don't have to show your face or show your name. I encourage people to be anonymous. But I also encourage people to help brew and stir these conversations up so we can actually get some things done. I know I'm a work in progress. I know there's a lot of people out there that are a work in progress. So don't be afraid to be on a platform as transparent as ours to speak on the real, to get into the real. The real, it's a lot of things happening in this world. A lot of things happening out here that we want to work the kinks out with. You know, we need your help. We can't really do it ourselves. Can't really do it alone. But like I said, I encourage you to tune into our live tab on YouTube, JCI Reform 1, and we'll see you next time. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
And it was a short moment that I was under the tutelage of him, but it was like I knew I was sent there because everything that he said, it's like I need it would nourish me. I just it. And
yes,
he said that I wasn't saying, I adapted his way of saying, and I understood exactly what he meant by it. You know, so it's a lot of things of kinship that we had, and then understanding when God places us, that's the thing that we should be really looking for. Absolutely. Not looking at human to human of our flesh and all the wrong things. It's good to see the wrong, but not to focus and pick on it.
Exactly.
We must encourage and elevate one another from our wrong. But to watch the kinship, even if it's something not so good in kinship that you have in another fellow human being or saint, help each other, lift each other up. So that's what I did, you know, while I was there. We took in a lot. Yeah, it was awesome.
Absolutely.
It was awesome.